A comm comes over the spectrum with a job. All it says is an amount of cargo, a delicate timetable, and a risky route. You know you've got 42 cubic meters to pack full of profit. We're talking pressurized and shock-resistant construction, so whatever you put in here comes out the same way. You got two Arc Duo 400 engines. Their award-winning colloid ion technology gives you maximum fuel efficiency while keeping your sig low. Come across a couple of pirates.
Hey, Lancer, you know the drill.
But with a weapons system featuring trusted names like Bering and Kronik, you aren't too worried.
Commercial vessel, Freelancer class. Brake tags look good. Cleared for landing in Area 18.
You're the one they come to when they need a job done right. Because you trust one ship. Misk Freelancer. Built for life.
And good evening, everyone. This is Zapnar for Mog Nation and Mog Television. This is another Friday night scramble because version 1.1 went live tonight. It's a huge download, and there's a lot to talk about tonight. In the background, while I am going over some of the items, we're going to, first of all, take a look at the new character model that is in this patch. It's quite an upgrade from the earlier model, which makes me happy. And this is in preparation for the Arena Commander, I'm sorry, not the Arena Commander, but the first-person shooter, Space Marine, which is coming out in a couple of weeks. They needed to get this model in place to support that. So, upgrade of the avatar. A couple of things to note here while I was testing things out. As I was trying to use the loadout table here, one of the things that you could do before that I'm not able to do now or couldn't figure out how to do in such a short time was to adjust your distance from the table like you could before. So you kind of have to play around with it a little bit and get your view correct. That leads into another thing here. It's getting a little bit difficult to use the loadout table the way it is, simply because there are so many little missiles and such that it's kind of hard to point at the right thing. You'll notice that in the background while I move on to other things. There are new controls in Arena Commander, or I should say Star Citizens 1.1. I'm going to have to break that model because he's calling it now Star Citizen 1.1 instead of just Arena Commander. Okay, there is a new downloadable manual available, so find that, download it, spend some time with that. I think it'll be worth your while. I took a quick skim through that, and I think it'll be worth the time. New controls, starting with a 1.1, you'll no longer access Arena Commander through your ships, but rather you have the new sim pod available to you. You'll also access Star Marine, which is coming out soon, through the sim pod as well. They did, one of the background items is they've converted everything into 64-bit now. So whether or not they are currently using everything as 64, it's now in the build. So That's going to give them a lot of flexibility from here on out. Another big thing is that the Gladius is now available to fly in Arena Commander, and I'm hoping to get into the Gladius a little bit later on in this broadcast. You'll also notice, as soon as the loadout table's down, that we also have the Retaliator in hangar, so I'll take a quick walkthrough on that. Again, I didn't have too much time before the broadcast, simply because this is one huge patch, and we had to start it over. Well, I had to start it over once. There was an HTTP error early on, which they've already fixed. So if you download it early in the day, you might have to do a repatch. I caught it kind of in the middle. I had to restart the download and did a fresh patch. I didn't do a repair. I did a fresh patch, and as you can see, I'm in game now. So that's a good thing there, and that's what I would suggest that you do. There is a rather extensive guide to what the patch is. First things first, again with the installation, you will need to do an uninstall of the earlier version of Star Citizen. Do a complete uninstall. They've got step-by-step instructions on how to do that cleanly, and then start the new download. Okay, in Arena Commander version, they've added the free flight for multiplayer. Also along with that is some docking modes that you'll want to go through and be familiar with. Along with that, then, they've also added some controls for you to accommodate the docking system. So look for those, bind them if you've got a HOTAS, or figure out where they're at on your keyboard and mouse. Okay, again, the Gladius is combat ready, and tonight is the last night that you can fly any of the flyable ships. So take a look at that. You've got a couple hours yet to get into a flight mode. I think that ends at midnight Pacific time, so that's about 4 hours from now. Okay, there was an Aurora South by Southwest paint skin available. That's now in game for you if you've got that. They did a lot of redesigns for the weapons. What I'm doing here on the Hornet right now is trying to determine whether or not you can get a size 3 weapon on there like you used to be able to, given that the gimbaled weapons will only accommodate one size smaller than they are. And to get a Panther on the Super Hornet, you have to pretty much take off that front turret, and then you can place a size 3 weapon. Unfortunately, that's going to trim down a little bit of its firepower. On to gimbaled weapons, once again, you can, if you've got a size 3 slot, you can put a gimbal on there. That will take size 2 and below weapons. So gimbal will equal the size of your slot, and then any weapon that you add to that gimbal will be one size or smaller below that. The only exception to that is the M50. I'm not sure why they didn't just make it a size 2 instead of a size 1 hardpoint on there, but that's what they've done. They've made an exception for the size 1 weapons on the M50. Along with that, though, they did fix 2 things that were causing problems with ballistic weapons. First off, the 60mm drivers from Clausen Warner. They fixed the bug for loading in ammo on those, which was causing a crash of the client. I haven't tested that out yet, but it is in the patch notes. Also, along with that, it'll automatically load in your ammo to your ship when you add a ballistic weapon to your loadout, rather than having to load the ammo boxes separate, which is a bonus for those who have been using ballistic weapon. Let's see, they adjusted some of the sizes, quite a few sizes of loadouts. The 300 series had their wing mount size changed to the correct value of size 2. Hornets had the ball turret weapon mount size changed to size 2. Cutlass had their turret weapons mount size changed to size 2. The M50 can now mount size 2 weapons on its wings. Okay, they did that. Okay. If it's not using gimbals. If it uses gimbals, then it's on to size 1, which is okay. That was size 1 before. So we didn't lose anything there on the M50 if you're into those smaller fast ships. Okay, I'm going to give you a walk around on the Retaliator now in the background. I'm going to take a look at that. Also, pay attention to the character model. It has come quite a long ways from the earlier model, so I do like that. Just reading through some of the other notes here, making sure I've got all of the big things. The next big item is the rec system is now in play. So if you're doing public matches, you'll be able to earn rec. That's public matches only. It's not a private match or squadron matches or anything like that. You can't get rec through Vandal Swarm. And then they rebalance some of the ships. One of the ships that is of most interest is the 350R. They rebalanced the mass along the 350R. It was out of place, which caused the 350 to be a little bit hard to handle at times. So hopefully they've really done a good job on that. I've yet to be able to fly any ships here. Like I said, it was late after getting the patch done. It was about 25 meg on that download, so unless you've got a super fast connection, it's going to take you a while. Okay, those are some of the biggest things that I can hash out from the rush to get the game loaded here as far as the patch notes go. There's quite a bit to read through there. I would suggest going ahead and doing that, getting the Star Citizens patch versus 1.1.0 and familiarize yourself with that. The big thing really is, from now on, go ahead and jump into a lot more public matches, earn yourself some rec, and then rent out some of the weapons and equipment for your ships that you might not have had an option to up till this point. Test it out, see what you think. That way you don't have to spend your own money on that anymore. So run through those public matches, get the rec, and test out some additional equipment. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, here I am in the cockpit of the Retaliator. This is a monster ship. It has 2 levels to it. I'll go to the upper deck here real quick. And can't get into any of the turrets yet. Still not real pleased with the press F to use stuff. It's still a little bit awkward to do that. You just don't know where to how much you need to B to something yet to get that done. But anyway, that's something for later. This is a beautiful ship, well modeled. You see that I'm kind of in a cramped space, and the character actually bends over just a little bit there to accommodate the headspace. There's a little bit of clipping going on here and there, but wow, it's a really nice model. So if you're wondering where GW is tonight, he's in the middle of his download. He was having some connection problems earlier, so he's been delayed. Okay, one more thing to mention about the rec system. If you read the last letter from the chairman, he's giving us 5,000 credits to use in the store, simply because we've been nice to him, I guess. So you'll start out with 5,000 credits that you can use to get some equipment. There are two major sections here to the Retaliator. I just passed up the torpedo bay, and you go back into an area that kind of looks like it's more for freight, but hard to recognize yet. That's the section coming up here. I think that's the freight bay there. Might be a secondary torpedo bay. It's kind of hard to tell. But it just goes on forever, it seems. And you get back here into the back, and you've got more access to some of the additional turrets. I am quite pleased to see this in my hangar tonight. Now, this is one of the ships I believe they will be concentrating on as they move forward into 2.0 to get the multi-cruise ship action in place. So hopefully we'll have some early sneak peeks here on the Retaliator. Okay, I'm going to leave that, and we're going to go live here. In just a moment. As you notice, as I walk back towards the front of the hangar, you'll see the sim pod beside the loadout table. Okay, here we are. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show you about the model here. You've got a crawl and a crouch. Now the crouch is bound to the control key, and that's the same key I use for my microphone. So if you're the same way, you'll probably have to end up rebinding it, which I will have to do. Here we go in the sim pod. And I'm going to go into some free flight here and see if we can get onto a landing system. I don't know what ship I loaded up, but okay. I keep forgetting to select it. Again, one of the things that they added here in the free flight is multiplayer. So we will be able to test out some squadron formations and such without being shot at. So hopefully this will be a good tool to go ahead and start training up your squadrons. And it's going to be a test bed to go ahead and start testing out your landing. Do my control test, make sure I've got everything bound correctly, which I had to redo. Okay, these are the landing pad.
Landing mode engaged.
Okay, I've locked on.
Shields recharging.
Okay, I've got a little bit of a problem with my throttle. For some reason it doesn't go to 0. It's at 8, so I am drifting.
Shields recharging. Landing request approved. Landing complete. Weapon mode engaged.
Yeah, I'm going to have to fix the throttle. So while I do that, enjoy the scenery. Okay, let's see if we have this fixed now. On my X65, I can go in and hit a top or bottom dead zone. That's what I did. Looks like I've fixed it. So let's give this another shot. I'm going to lock on.
Landing mode engaged. Landing request approved.
Okay, if I'm tilted too far one way or the other, you get the red bars. If you're pitched up or down too far, you'll get red bars forward or back. So right here, it looks like my attitude is correct.
Landing mode engaged. Landing request approved. Landing mode.
And here I am on an EVA. And this is real zero G. Once you get started going one direction, you keep. Hard landing.
Stand by for reintegration.
Aegis combat assist activated. Systems green.
Okay, so this is just another set of things we're going to have to master, and thank goodness they've put it in early because it's going to make a huge difference in the persistent universe to get this practice in.
Shields recharging. Landing mode engaged. Weapon mode engaged. Landing mode engaged. Landing request approved.
Better the second time through. Well, I think most of my Mog Nation pals are still patching, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get into anything but a single-player Arena Commander tonight, which is fine. I'll do another EVA here. And I still... Okay, that's something to play around with. I'm going to go ahead and get into some combat here to finish out the last portion of my session here. And I'm going to fly the Gladius tonight.
If someone were to ask you, what is speed? What would you tell them? Is it simply a measure of distance covered over time? The magnitude of velocity? Or is it something more? At origin, speed is more than a number. It's a state of being. Speed is a shock to the soul. Speed is a call to action. Speed is... Introducing the 2943 300i from Origin Jumpworks.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that commercial. Again, one of the oldies but goodies. I'm still loading back into the hangar. And I'm not really sure what I'm looking at there. Okay, that's fine. Oh, let's do a public match here. Let's see if we can get blown up here. Load in my Gladius.
Respect the planetary ecosystem. Please consult local authorities for prohibited flora and fauna.
And once again, public matches are where you're going to earn a rec. You can't do that in private matches or the Vandal Swarm. So we'll see if we can get into a little bit of some rec tonight.
Aegis combat assist activated. Systems green.
Approaching simulation boundary.
Top speed of the Gladius, 240.
Shields recharging.
And I'm still waiting for a player to enter. Maybe there's just too many people still patching.
Aegis combat system activated. Systems green. Begin scan. Contact. Contact. Missile locked. Proximity.
Well, that was
Stand by for reintegration.
Aegis combat system activated. Systems green. Begin scan. Begin scan. Contact. Contact. Begin scan. Begin scan. Contact. Air shield under fire. Armor shield under fire. Shields recharging. Contact. Contact. Missile locked. Begin scan. Contact. Shields up. Shield under fire. Contact.
Stand by for reintegration.
Combat system activated. Systems green. Begin scan. Begin scan. Contact. Contact. Begin scan. Contact. 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 Missile locked. Begin scan. Begin scan. Contact. Begin scan. Contact. Proximity alert aft. Begin scan. Contact. Contact.
Are you there, Zap?
Yes, I am.
All alone? I saw Graham and Rhinoth in here earlier.
Contact. Begin scan. Begin scan. Contact. Begin scan. Danger. System overview. Missile locked. Summer shield under fire. Begin scan. Shields recharging. Begin scan. Contact. Begin scan. Contact. Shields locked. Contact. Shields recharging. Proximity alert aft. Rear shield under fire. Begin scan. Contact. Shields recharging. Begin scan. Ammo low. Shields up. Contact. Begin scan. Contact. Contact. Missile locked. Missile prime. Begin scan. Contact. Contact. Rear shield under fire. Shields recharging. Contact. Begin scan. Contact. Port shield under fire. Shields recharging. Proximity alert aft. Contact. Shields recharging. Begin scan. Danger. Starboard shield 25%. Begin scan. Begin scan. Shields up. Shields recharging. Ammo depleted. Rear shield up. Shields recharging. Begin scan. Shields up. Contact. Begin scan. Contact. Contact. Begin scan. Contact. Contact. Begin scan. Proximity alert end. Port shield under fire. Shields recharging. Contact. Shields recharging. Begin scan. Rear shield under fire. Danger. Rear shield 25%. Shields recharging. Begin scan. Shields recharging. Contact. Shields up. Contact. Begin scan. Under fire. Shields recharging. Contact. Dead. Begin scan. Shields recharging. Begin scan. Contact. Shields recharging. Begin scan. Contact. Rear shield 25%. Somber shield under fire. Somber shield under fire.
Stand by for reintegration.
Aegis combat system activated. Systems green. Begin scan. Begin scan. Contact. 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 Begin scan. Contact. Contact. Begin scan. Contact. Missile locked. Shields recharging. Contact. Begin scan. Contact. Shields up. Shields recharging. Proximity alert aft. Contact. Shields up. Shields recharging. Contact.
Okay, that's going to do it for my broadcast tonight. Thank you for joining me here on Mog Nation, and we'll see you next week. Good night.